society of this very place or this very state or this very cultural plurality of India, I have a different social values. Along with that, I am carrying cultural values along with myself. So as a child, individual value, social value, cultural value, global value, I'm talking to you on this virtual platform throughout the world fraternity from their allied fields, and they are on this common platform sharing their ideas, views, wisdom, knowledge, understanding by their presentation. So I am here and I'm lucky to be in this global value, and it will enshrine us towards movement towards the future. So like as these child grow in individual, social, cultural, global and spiritual fields, and that environment also inculcate values among the pupils. So this is all about aspects of next value. When we move towards value-based education, so we have a different value-based teaching frameworks in which values are taught both in classrooms through role play and textbooks, as well as outside through live examples. For more than that, in ancient time, there was Gurukulas, and that Gurukulas are the schools located in the vicinity where there are forests, they are nearby the rivers, they have a natural environment where we have an open classroom. It was a way back, many thousand years back in India. Now in India, we have a different government, private schools, we have a different ICSE boards, then state boards and central boards. So every school, they have their own budgets, their economic status and all that. Like as that, we have a play-based schools at a low level that is known as Anganwadi in government sector. In public sector, we have the play-based schools, kids, kindergartens, and many things are there. So we have a trained teachers, but if they will be trained more, and the teaching framework, the curriculum in which we can have a tool in the hand of teacher by virtue of which he can mold his material, and molding his material, he can make his student valuable by their enshrining in intrinsic and extrinsic value, then we have a better outlook towards the society. We have a better world, and we have a better contribution of the stakeholder for their emerging society, so that we can have a global peace in the world. It's man inside is a man outside, as one thought is there. So man has to, or people has to be enshrined values by expert teachers, and in classroom through role plays, through textbooks. There are direct methods, there are indirect methods, there are outdoor activities, there are excursions, there are field trips, there are many aspects where we can have a value-based education. So in which values are taught both in classroom. It is taught unconditionally by the teacher who wholeheartedly believes in nourishing her or his students with values that will help in overall well-being of their student. Basically, we all are teachers here. We are on this platform. We know that the teacher, what we teach, they forget. But what we do, they always remember. There is always saying that what I read, I forget. What I saw, I remember. What I do, I never forget. So in this value-based education, we have to develop that framework in which we have better classrooms, we have better playgrounds, we have a better environment, we have a better outlook, and we should teach them in nature. It's all saying you cannot understand, but I will speak in Hindi, in Sanskrita. So this is the old Sanskrit saying where what are the characteristics of the student. So students has a in this level, student must have a detached from this material world. He has a natural development, the 5 sense organs, ear, eyes, nose, skin, and tongue. So we should develop all the sense organs, and it is the mother feeding who can make them more prominent, more towards their traits, so that they can have a more development of 5 sense organs. When integrated, that 5 sense organs move towards 6th, super sensitive stage or super conscious stage. So unconscious, subconscious, and conscious stage of the student, it should be moved towards the super conscious. It is all saying of the Vedas and Swami Vivekananda that there are innate powers which develops by education is a process by virtue of which we can develop innate powers in the child. So child is enshrined with the different values inside, but it is the environment, it is the teacher, and it is the methodology, how we make to use our curriculum. Curriculum make is curriculum is a part of this timetable, your co-curricular activities, and the environment along with the these textbooks and all materials, indoor outdoor activities. They make train the students to move towards a value education, and we should have more. Today's child, he must be a more social, more conditional, more having a more holistic development by virtue of these value-based education. It is unconditional by the teacher. Teacher should teach wholeheartedly. He must teach the students as their own children, and they must enshrine value with the best possible ways in a passion, determination, and dedication towards their profession. It is the well-being of the student who, if the well-being of the student should be promoted, he must have a sound mind in a sound body, and a sound body can sustain their values. Values-based education provides a successful environment that may be academic, social, and interpersonal skills. I generally discuss about the next the aims of education. Today in this material world, we are expressing and going towards the self-expression only. That is the narrow aim of education according to me, but we should have a broader aim of education, and the broader aim of education is self-realization education. It is many philosophers, they had this Indian or Western, they had discussed about the broader aim of education, and I personally focus on the self-realization education, and it starts from a very early stage when you have an environment of spirituality in the family. If the child they have a better meditation ideas by their parents, they follow them. If the school they have a realization of the morning assembly, why we do the morning assembly, why we chant mantras, why we go for meditations, why we go for national songs, why we go for national anthems, why we go for pledge. That will be move us towards a positive direction for a future growth as a ideal citizen and a good human being for their own life. So next is, it is a positive direction to the students who can shape their future and even help them to know the purpose of the life. It teaches them the best way to live that can be beneficial to individual as well as the people around them. So if positive direction is there, if the eyesight or insight is better, eyesight is a physical aspect, but we never visualize only by the eyesight. It is the idea in the mind. It is integration of actions with the deeds, and deeds will be more visual if we move towards the different 9 steps of truth. That is wisdom. So it is the best way to live with a teaching, and it will benefit the people around us if a better outlook is provided to the child throughout their basic or early childhood education. It gives a positive direction to the students to shape their future, even help them to know the purpose of their life. So as you know that we are on a global platform. If we are good human being, I'm good at the local level, I am good at the regional level, I will be good at the national level, I will be asset for the international community who is along with me moving for their life. They have a quest for peace, they want wisdom, they want to promote the humanity in the world. Just we are one world, one family. If these values can be integrated at the very low level, the child will have a better outlook towards the world. It teaches them the best way to live that can be beneficial to individual as well as the people around them. So we must have a positive direction. We must have a best ways to live, and it will be benefited by students also, along with the society, the classroom, the teacher, in the institution where he is studying, and in the society where he want to work. So better human, better society, better world. Value education helps the students to become more and more responsible and sensible. So it will help a responsibility development among the child. In our Indian concept, we say that we must have a self-knowledge, self-discipline, self-start, self-accessibility, self-evaluation. When we have this development by the self, it can only come by the virtue of the good teacher, good teaching, good environment, who makes self-dependent and give education which makes individuals to child to grow at their own with a minimum and move towards the maximum thrust towards the life and achieve holistic development. So next is to understand and lead successful life as a responsible citizen, we need that value education in the world. So today's we have a lot of people, those who are educated but lack values, and when they are at higher post, they deteriorate that values, and we can say many countries they can, and the leader of the countries, the leader of the state, the people on the higher status, they deteriorate their values, they deceive by the people, or that they deceive themselves with the values, and they deceive the society, and by virtue of that, in response of that, the society collapse, the system collapse. So we have to work on that. It helps them to understand the perspective, life in a better way, and leads a successful life as a responsible citizen. As we know, this citizen of today's citizen develop in the classrooms. It develops by the virtue of good environment at the home. It is developed by the society, and today's students, they are the asset for the society, because we are moving towards sustainable development. So if we will move with a sustainable development, we will have approach to develop the strongest relationship with the family and the friends, and sustain the value for future generations by our culture, by preserving our universal values, by our social values, and in this all the sorts of values, that may be our constitution, that may be our our outlook, that may be our school, that may be our society, and that may be our national value that can make a persona better towards the better world. So next is it develops the character and personality of the students. So value education have a impact on the character and personality. Man inside is a man outside. I'm saying that. Moreover, there are three type of people: one who say but never do, one who do but never says. But being a teacher, we are in that profession, we have to say and do. So we have to develop personality, what we are saying word to word in these PPTs. So I'm focused to that, I am committed to that. I'm sharing these all aspects to develop as a character and a persona to be well equipped with the knowledge, with the wisdom, and to develop insight, to develop their body, by physical activity, to develop by their mind, by good ideas, by different inculcations, and to have a soul better with the right emotions by virtue of different meditations and spiritual activities, exercise and prayers. There are different ways. Value education develop a positive view of life in the student's mind. This value education has a better outlook. The student who carries value with themselves, sustain value with themselves, work for values, they are a better persona and they are a good assets. Teaching value education benefits the school in various ways. An important outcome of the school is having more settled environment, so they enhance quality teaching, enable teachers to raise bar for the students' performance. So this is all about. Next is I am pacing my presentation, although it was the time at about 12. I think I have other are waiting for me. So my pacing is a little higher, but I want to convey my ideas by virtue of this presentation. Students also is more responsible for their own learning by asking questions, frequently work together more cooperatively. So we must develop the quest of knowledge among the pupils so that they must have a better outlook towards the society. In childhood, the child, they ask more questions from parents, more uncle, from their younger or elder brother or sister, why, what, when, where, how. So we have to satisfy his quest by virtue of a right knowledge, right understanding. Develop right understanding, then right awareness. When we develop right awareness, we will move towards the right skills. And when skills are developed at a higher level, we must have a highest value. Values are intrinsic as well as extrinsic. So in intrinsic value, more tolerant we are. If we have a persona with intrinsic value, many outer differences cannot makes us to be imbalanced by the thoughts, If our thoughts are focused, our ideas focused, we have alpha, beta, gamma thoughts running in the mind. We have to balance our thoughts, and we that balanced personality have a better outlook. They are more focused. They can work, go for a higher level of sports. They are, highest winner of the sport in games, also physical activities. Also, they are having a outlook in marks also by their intellectual value. They can express themselves, and they can be a better leader in the society. They are a better observer. They are a better human being. They are a mature persona for the society, and they are assessed for the world. Through value-based education, we have stronger character. We utilize their own knowledge via for the advantages of mankind. Mankind will be sustained as all preachers of different religions. It says that man is inside is a man outside. So we need a better world in this society by value education. Early childhood education, it has a one of the most important stages of human growth and development. So at early childhood level, we must be very particular of what we are providing to the children. In this COVID time, our students, infants, parents, what they do, they give mobile to the people or the children at home. They are busy in their own work, and people, they have developed a bad value towards using this electronic tool as a toy in their hand, but it has a side effects on eyes, on their different memories, on their sensitive skins, and sometimes they are more vulnerable and have a long-term disease developed in early childhood. So we have to develop the positive values psychologically, make more sound to the people, give them activity-oriented work time periods should be enhanced. They should have a better outlook towards the outdoor activities. They must play in the ground. They must have a better outdoor, indoor activities where neuro sensory nerves, our phonetics, semantic approach can be developed. They must have a more coordination of eyes and head. They have a more locomotive psychomotor domains development by different indoor and outdoor playway activities. Physical, intellectual development should be there. Emotional development is very needed. Child, when ignored or not be cared by the parents, or the child, they need a more emotional attention from the parents, from the guardians, but the people, they are busy. Mother, father, they are working, and the child at home is on is be pampered by the caretakers. Sometimes they ruin their values and they cannot develop the senses. So we have to develop the sense, self, relationship with other, sociability. We have a better outlook. We should make them social. They must respect the guests coming at home. They must have a better extroverted, introverted as well as extroverted activities, so that they can share their ideas, views, thoughts, understanding with their family, their relatives, and they can communicate themselves, their emotions with themselves, so that the personality can be developed holistically. Next is, it takes time to open the slides, but it is moving. A value-based approach to learning and growing up is a fundamental to nurturing and development of the all children. So we should nurture the child in a childhood so that they have a fundamental values. The student, they must have one or two kids in a family. They have a better outlook towards but isolated or single family, a single child family, where they lack their parents, their grandparents, their uncle, aunt, they have they lack some values or social values. So for future development, we should make them more social, more strong, more lifelong learning. Their domains, cognitive and social development should be there so that they can have a better outlook. Along with that, there should be a number of essential values that is to be inculcated and individual in different stages. You can see that in primitive time, the child, they go with their parents how to earn their food, how to cook their food, how to cultivate the plants, how a seed develop into sapling, sapling into plants, and how the plants, they have a grains. So grains, how they can be. But now again, we have to develop that level so that It is not to go for the hunting, but it is to earn their livelihood by virtue of values. That level of education should be promoted in different levels in education for world, so that we can have a better world, better young ones. They can respect their parents, they can respect their guardians, they can respect their society, they can respect the humanity, they can respect the world. And the integrity of the world is in the peace, it is in the non-violence, it is the so we have to give a thrust to these values. There could be a number of essential values, and they are family, moral, religious, social, spiritual, ethical, national, international values. But it starts very early from the childhood. So what we sow, so shall we reap. So we have to be very particular about the childhood education. There are types of different values in a child that can learn and follow in his or her whole groups. It depends upon his age group. So generally we can see that student early childhood, the same age child, they share their ideas, views, maybe in cousins, in family, in family gathering, in social gathering, in marriages, in functions, as well in the schools. But school is more, it is formal, and sometimes we make them to develop in a very mechanic way. So we have to be not little formal, but we have to be formal education and informal education to the people, so that they can have a easygoing learning with the value. And there should be a parental grooming also in the school level, so that they can not have a school phobia, they can go with a happy mood, they can have a better environment, so that they can leave their house, their home, their parents, and uh, carry their bags in a school bus to go school with the happy mood, and they can come with the positive values back to home, and they can work and grow with these universal values. So Kothari Commission in India similar recommended and incorporate these values for the student, like as other commission in the world where they also recommended these values. Role of the parents and teacher. It is very important to in early childhood, child imitates the behavior of the persona with whom they are in contact. So whenever a child is there, we have to give a proper introduction of the people. And in a family or in a parental or a school gathering, there should be a home atmosphere. There should be a nourishment from the elder one, mature one, and giving a easygoing democratic setup, so we can demonstrate the values, we can develop the values, giving a direction to the life, and change automatically according to the required values in the society. There should be a right lecture on profession that are demonstrated, and demonstration is by the right person with the skill, knowledge, understanding. There should be a growth of the teacher or student as their own child. Teacher must treat their child as a national property. It is asset as a nation, as a world. When we treat our children, our stakeholder in this way as their own children, they will have a more student-teacher relation with effective values. And students, we can say that teacher must be a friend, philosopher, and guide, but he should be a more parent, and parenting should be proper, so that we should inculcate proper values. Students who is a master of his own or her subject must have moral values. They integrate their subject with these human values. Today we have a thrust in engineering, medical colleges, and all that. So many highest education academic scenario have highest education but lacks human values. So this can be stopped. Ragging and this, child, they go for a negative task, or sometimes they ruin their life. And parents back at home, they always cry on their grooming, that what was the lack in our grooming, that child committed so bad and sacrifice their life. But we have to be overcome by the curriculum reforms urgently needed in the school level. We need a curriculum with the language, with the mother tongue, with the dialects, and along with that, integrating with national, international languages to promote the local as well international values. with the learning subjects. Parents should try to invest more time with the students, with the children. They they have to invest time not in earning, but invest their time for their future futures, which is with their children's. How the work is done if parents decide to teach one story every day. So we must read school books as a parents. We should read good story books, motivational books. We should see good, movies, clips, YouTube channels. So kids, they are vulnerable and using these sites, and when these they have a wrong impact on the people, they get very destructive, and they cannot involve with the parents. They want to live in isolation. So we have to overcome by good grooming. Teachers should understand their duty to impart value education. They must have a proper training. There must be induction programs. There must be capacity building programs. There must be a workshop. There should be a Vipassana and many meditation centers are there in India, which have yogic practices where your own goddess awareness is promoted. We have a different yogic practice along with the meditation. We have to integrated thoughts. We have to cleansing our thoughts. We have to enrich ourselves with the good thoughts and values. For that should be promoted, and these promotion will help to people to have a better outlook if we will teach them, or we can orate good poems and good stories to the people, to the children or the people in the classroom, and parents also during bedtime when he want to sleep. Before that, if we will have a motivational value stories, then child will have a better outlook towards the future day. Parents, teacher, and other eminent people in the society, they must demonstrate teaching it formally in a classroom. Media can play an important role. Today's media, that may be multimedia, that may be print media, but today the students, they are more close, vulnerable to mobiles, internet, Google, YouTube's, many things are there, WhatsApp, Facebooks are there. So we have to provide value education in every form so that they can be having positivity, not a negativity towards the society, towards the nation, towards the society, towards so news channels and any culture, other culture programs, serials, advertisement. It should be provided with the positive values, and we every media house and every national, international arena should promote these values. This is a big challenge. Otherwise, all channels they are always discussing negative or big wars and different seals where they are TRP of fighting, quarreling, slashing, using abusive language, and moreover, news channels they are showing war news more in 24 hours, 22 or 23 hours. There are some destructive news, so we have to overcome, and it is a responsibility of every newspaper, magazines, news channel, TV channels, national, international forums to make value education essential for the holistic development of the child. It should be integrated in every course. It should be integrated with all subjects with different method and approaches. There are different methods in education, correlation, co-integration, and then there are a spiral method, and there where we move from simple to complex, where we learn from personality in the childhood, and when child go to understanding level, then they come there to know the events of different idol peoples in the world who had worked for peace, like Mahatma Gandhi in India. He had been inspired by Vedas, and he turned to be Mahatma Gandhi from Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi by virtue of action, theory, and thoughts, and on one idea of truth and peace. So many ideas are there. So most powerful weapon in the world is this education. Value education is very important and most needed. That's why I selected this very topic in this level of international fraternity where intellects are having a discussions. So thank you very much from my side. This is over and out. Over to you. All the chairperson, I thank you. And over to you, chairperson, on this international conference. I'm audible? Audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, so thank you very much to giving this opportunity at this level.
Yes, sir, you
And
are very much audible, sir.
I welcome you all back to Himachal. I am working for Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. I am working here. I am a chairperson of Buddhist Studies Center. I am working as an associate professor. So I thank you once again, all the fraternity, all the intellect present on this virtual platform from core of my heart. Thank you. Thank you once again. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is really a great topic to discuss in this period of value erosion. And really, it is a great presentation, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I invite Annie
Thank you.
VM of first NVKC College of Education to extend a grateful thanks to you.
Good afternoon. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the art of thanks to the resource person, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Sharma, for inspiring and illuminating with your valuable words on value based education. Thank you, sir, for sharing your ideas on values and the approaches on value based education. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.